So I start seeing people coming in. So I think we'll wait for another 3 minutes. So around 8 we'll start.
Yes.
And guys, if you have any question that you plan to ask or you have already question in your mind, you can start to type into the FAQ. So later when FAQ session, we can answer them one by one also.
Okay, I think we can start now. And
Yeah.
uh, hello, everybody. Uh, my name is Christina, and today I'm a host for this webinar. And let's welcome our speaker, Jin Hanzong, as our product manager.
Okay. Nice to meet you, everyone.
Okay, so next one, we have our agenda for today is, sorry, let me mention for the title first. So we will talk about this loyalty program is specifically for self-service laundry, and our agenda today will be first we will do uh, as answer the question about why need to embrace this loyalty program, and then Hansong will talk about how to start this loyalty program, and lastly we will do a case study.
So, uh, so the first question that we want to answer today is actually why loyalty program is actually essential for us, right? Why self-service laundry is essential for them to actually have this self-service laundry, especially in today market context, right? So I'll give you 4 points on why is it important, right? The first one is on customer retention. This is always the most of the time is a primary goal of the loyalty program. is which actually mean the repeat customer. We want to increase our repeat customer. So when they talk about the second thing, when they talk about they want to boost the revenue and profit, actually what we are looking at is that we specific on the customer lifetime value. So what it means by customer lifetime value is actually how much the customer actually spend on you throughout his whole journey with you, right? Since he's registered as a member, how much he have spent. So these are giving you all the insight, all their spending behavior. So they'll actually allow you to actually capture all the information so that later in future, if there's a changes in your reward program, they might also be segment into a specific segment based on their behavior. The last thing is actually we call customer engagement. It's actually sense of connection from the customer. So what it actually mean, right? Especially in self-service laundry context, right? A lot of time customer cannot see the owner or they don't see the people there directly. So the way that the operator can actually engage with their customer is only through uh this mean like loyalty program where they have the customer information and they're able to capture the customer information and talk to the customer, and when the customer give feedback, these are the information that will be obtained from. So in that sense, right, you actually build a connection with the customer. So the customer know, okay, this business, this brand actually care about me. So I want to, in this case, I want to support them more. So these are actually what we want the customer to feel, right? So let me give you a bit of statistic in this case, right? So actually, 65% of the company revenue actually you realize from a repeat business from existing customer, especially on a consumer facing. It's not only consumer facing, like business facing also the same. And actually, it is five or to 25 times more expensive for you to acquire new customer than keep the existing one. So in the self-service laundry context, right, you can only serve a certain range of customer size, I guess. It's most of the time they use a travel distance to measure that. So in this 5 kilometer radius from your specific outlet, how many customer is there? That's your, which is we call it, probably they call it total addressable market, where you can serve them, right? So for you to keep this pool of customer, right, is cheaper than you actually obtain new customer in this that are not previously not in your pool and ask them to spend with you, right? And they also statistics say 80% of the customer that loyalty program, right, will actually help the brand for repurchase, even though the competitor offer lower price. So this is where the sense of engagement coming in, where there's because in the decision make in the purchase process, right, there's a lot of factor came into, right. So in this sense, the customer uh the sense of engagement, your relationship with your customer will actually help, right? So more statistic here, right? So you have, for you to actually selling to existing customer, you have higher chance with around 60 to 70% compared to trying to sell to a new prospect. Just like the effort for you to convince a new customer to try your service, right? It's the same, right? And one more interesting fact is actually 5% increase in your customer retention rate is correlate to 25% of your increase, right? And then to allow it to make sense in today's context, right? You realize that adaptation for statistic among generation, so it's actually more significant on millennium, right? You can see that most of the generation, especially the millennium, in this case, the millennium is the dark blue color one, right? Can see they'll actually definitely throughout the generation they'll enroll because I mean loyalty program itself, right? They'll know it since the banking, the credit card offer, the airline offer. So they all throughout the generation, all of them will know. But the millennial, they'll tend to engage more and they'll write more positive review and they'll use it more. So it means that loyalty program is common throughout segment. I mean, if you look at the demographic of the customer, right? Okay. So the next thing you see is how loyalty program is actually evolving, right? So what I want to share here is that previously, if you remember correctly, the phase one of the loyalty program, right, is always about card, point based. So what do the retailer want actually from the retailer perspective or the operator perspective, right? It's always about to retain the customer, how to put the transaction, what do they spend on. So these are the information that they want, right? And the challenge is always they will be hard to retain. Not it's hard to retain, hard to redeem actually. The reward is not attractive, right? Then soon you see more a second phase, right? On the advanced loyalty or reward, where they give you voucher, give you redeemable point, and on the retailer perspective, right? You actually see then things like cross-selling or product bundling actually start to happen because you have your customer insight already. You can start selling to other merchant. Actually have a partnership will happen, right? Of course, the next will be we have multi-brand tiers and royalty award, right? But in this case, right, where today context, I think at this level in current Malaysia, I see mostly in Malaysia, you see face between the consumer, our current landscape is either they don't have loyalty program or they are at phase one. If they are better, they will be at phase two, right? So we still haven't see multi-brand tier or loyalty card where they have multiple retailer. So this will require how I see the future will going on. But of course, in the end, right, it probably will become a whole ecosystem where you can see the same example at least in China, right? Okay. So next we'll go to how how actually how you actually want to build a winning loyalty program, right? This is from our perspective, right? So a winning loyalty program, right? We call it first. You need to have, of course, you need to have understand customer behavior, right? Then the next thing is we call determine the right irrationality point. So what it means by that is actually you want to find a point where the customer where your loyalty program actually allowed the customer to have the perceived value is the greatest for the customer, but it costs less for you, right? So this is a bit paradoxy because what the customer find valuable, right, may not be actually largest amount of saving, right? Uh, so in sales service only context, there'll be some like for example, your Bosch voucher, right? Your Bosch voucher perceived value is like maybe 7 ringgit, 5 ringgit, but your actually the cost of the customer providing a Bosch voucher is not as great as what the customer it didn't cost so much, I mean, right? So once you know that, right? So then you can actually start to design it in the sense of you can do point-based system where there's a point in every wash, then they're able to redeem a cycle, detergent, or other supply, right? Or you can do a tier-based system like top spending, you get more benefit, or the reward is specifically for men for for those top spender, right? Or there's a free add-on, right? Yeah. And then the simplest one, of course, the simplest one is also the easiest one for you to communicate to your customer is this, we call it punch card. So it's a very classic approach where you tell the customer after, just like what you see in the car wash, you come to my outlet, you use our service for 10 times, we give you a free service, right? So these are classic what you can do for your customer actually, right? Okay. The next thing after that, after you have, okay, of course, at the same time, right, you have to consider about your so-called, we call it technology integration, right? In this case, the customer have to have a platform. It could be mobile apps, it could be web for them to track the point, the redeem voucher, and for them to receive the promotion. The promotion there'll be have you have the channel to manage all your customers, like how where do they store their information, how do they obtain their information, how you can reach them, right? You can reach them through email, phone number, right? The second thing that you have to look into is actually there will be some integration happen for your laundry equipment, your payment system, and also the loyalty itself, right? So all these things have to be linked together, right? maybe the last thing, but maybe the last thing, but probably I think also that's very critical, right? Is that you need to work with a correct technology embedded platform, so enable you to deliver all your customer service, right? So in this case, we do hope that will be your reliable technology enabler, right? Okay, so maybe I can one more thing is that the continuous development and then changes in loyalty, right, is evolving. That's why having a correct partner, correct platform to work with is fairly important in this perspective, right? The next thing is that how you want to tell the market. How do you want to tell the market in that you have your loyalty program? So normally we only classically you can there's two ways, right? In the easiest approach. You can either leverage your social media channel, social where you can tell the customer, you can engage in content, right? Or you can maximize your in-store signature, your communication material, we call it in-store communication material, right? All of this will actually help to the customer to know and attract their attention to do more. Right? Like for example, giving promotion, you need to tell them you're giving promotion, and so that they have the incentive for them to install and be part of your members, right? Okay, then the next thing. So after we have all these, right, you have some things that you need to start to measure already, right? You have to measure and make adjustment. So this is a, if you can see, right, from the beginning, it's a loop, right? You actually design, right, and then you distribute it. You mean you toss it to the market, right? And then you have to measure it. Then you make adjustment and redesign it, right? So in this case, there's a three main criteria where we see significant, right? There's a participation rate where you can actually indicate how many customers that is actively engaged with you, right? Your redemption rate showing how many customers is actually using your reward, right? Because in most cases, right, what you don't want is that you design a reward and you send them, they obtain the reward, but they don't know how to use it and they're not using it. So it defeats all the purpose for you to be able to give up the reward because you want to incentivize, right? Yeah. The last thing is the customer satisfaction, right? Of course, there's also a few other things that you can measure, like for example, the rate of new sign up, right? And then average spend per visit. So these are additional metrics that you can actually measure in your loyalty. But in typical case, right, in loyalty we measure the new customer repeat sales and also lapse or actually lapse customer and then those that are not spending anymore in you, right? Okay, so these are case study that what we have delivered, right? So we have one of our customer is Sushi Express. There is actually more than 5,000 members in a year, right? And they actually achieve a more than 65% of repeat customer in a week, right? It means that every week the customer will keep coming, going to their outlet. So these are metrics. So uh in this case they use our tools, right? They allow them to have a method for them to engage with the customer. Of course, in there will be a lot of metrics like they have good customer service, right? And then the customer enjoy the use, it's convenient for them to use. So these are what helps for them to achieve I think quite remarkable uh, numbers within a short period of time, right? The second maybe I can share with you is one and also another of customer is called NannyWatch. So what they have is actually they have this rated 5 star in their user experience. So this is their especially they focus greatly in their customer service, right? And then through the tools through Londro itself, they're actually able to resolve their time to resolution, reduced by 75% from like 2 hours to 30 minutes. It means that what is time to resolution? It means that the customer complain today, and then they're able to make the customer feel happy in a shorter period of times. They can it's through voucher, it's through uh, resolve the problem, like enable starting the machine, resolve what the customer is facing now, right? So these are actually the case study, some of the few short case study that we can share with you, right? So I don't it's a bit short, but I hope that the actionable insight that you can get from here is actually the loyalty itself, right? Is evolving, right? It's evolving due to the change in landscape also. Like for example, previously 10 years ago we don't have COVID, right? And then 10 years later we have COVID. And then you realize also the customer digital adaptation is also changing, right? So when the customer behavior change, the loyalty also change. How you can incentivize your customer, how you want to interact with your customer also change, right? And their loyalty, right, will worth your investment in time and resources in technology. Why is it important? Because the customer need, right? We actually help when you do okay, when you able to retain their loyalty, you actually significantly improve their lifetime value. When they share, when they are happy with your service or product, so we achieve something they call word of mouth, which is the cheapest of a marketing method that you can get, where they can share positive experience about you with their friends. And this will have a network effect, right? For you. And in the end, they will become your advocate for you, for them to use your brand and your services. So as a brand and retailer, right? You have to be more customer centric in this case, right? Because especially when you start invest in loyalty program, and you want to have a sort of return in your investment, right? You want to make it appealing to your customer, right? So that's why it's important in this case. So if I hope you can obtain what you are looking for, right? In in this short presentation. Okay. So if you have any question that you want to ask us, I think we are open for Q&A session. Yeah. Uh, I think you mute your mic, Christine.
Okay, so next thing we're gonna wait for some question to come in.
Yes. You can just type in the FAQ if there'll be FAQ that you can see.
Yeah, there's a Q&A button below the screen. So first question will be, uh, can a self-service laundry loyalty program benefit from local partnership?
Okay. So I think in this local partnership, right, it means that your neighbors, right, your your neighbors and like the cafe, the restaurant beside you, right? Uh, Actually, I think it's even better idea if you're able to collaborate with your neighbors, right? And you actually instead of we call it maybe it become actually something that we call a community centric loyalty program. So the 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 point that you offer, right, or the reward that the discount that you offer, they're spending in the can be redeemed in the coffee shop or can be redeemed in the restaurant, right? So this actually create a collaboration between your neighbors and you. I think it's something that is good good for everyone, right? And maybe you can do some event like they call it laundry and coffee days, Yeah, I think this will. But to make all the value deliver, right? You have to know there's a few, I think, five aspects that you need to pay attention in. You have to focus on the we call it the cash value, right? And then you have to make a right choice in selecting your partner, and you have to stay relevant. And the last thing, you have to be convenient enough for your customer to actually redeem the process. So you're actually not introducing difficulty for your customer to enable them to redeem or to engage in your program.
Okay, hopefully this answer can be a good answer for you. And next one will be how small business can do loyalty program. Is it just for a big company?
Uh, Actually, it is not. No, loyalty program is a way for you to actually engage with your customer. It's regardless that your company size, whether you are big, you're small, right? You need to have a method for you to actually engage with your customer, and you want to build a stronger relationship with them, right? Because that is how you actually fence off your competitor. You don't allow a new competitor come into your territory by building a strong relationship with your customer, your existing customer in that specific area. So it is maybe you're not doing it in a biggest that scale that's as big as those larger corporation, but you can do a quite a significant uh, relationship with your customer when you focus it one by one. But the most important thing is that you yourself as a business operator, you have to engage in that process as well.
Okay, well, that information can be very useful for those laundromat owners. Mm, I think we have one more question. Is about uh, what are some common mistake that owners make when setting up the loyalty program and how they can avoid them.
Uh, from our experience, right, the biggest what we see is that the biggest mistake that is most commonly done by the operator itself, the business owner itself, when they have this program that's ongoing, right? It's not it's not communicate clearly enough for that customer, right? And the customer don't know whether what is the benefit of joining this specific program and how to participate in, right? So what you can do is that you can like through signage, through banner, the email, the social media, or even on your website, right? So all of this, right, enable you to actually communicate clearly with your customer how to enroll it, how the reward is process being done, how the point redemption process is being done. So all these are important information for the customer because it's same like what you have go through previously. So the customer will need education. You want to teach them to use a new tool for you to interact with them. So these are important.
Okay. I hope those question already answered well. So I think that's all for today, and thank you for Hanzong for talking about very insightful information. And I think I'm going to inform you guys that next one we will do the next webinar on next next month, and you guys can check our social media for the information.
Yeah, we have our webinar series will continue. So I hope you can join us also next week, right? And I very thank you for you guys joining us for today's session. And I hope you obtain the answer that you want. And I hope the sharing is insightful enough for you.
Okay, I think we can end the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.